Hey racers, and welcome back for another live stream. Today's live stream is how to build endurance for a 4-hour enduro, even if you're not getting out on the bike every single day of the week, hopefully at least once a week. Um, One of the problems I had when I was racing is I didn't understand endurance, and I didn't understand that there was multiple different types of endurance and also multiple different ways to build endurance. So my whole mindset when I was racing was like, okay, I'm doing these. So for me, it was motocross. I'm doing these motocross events. We're doing 15-minute motos, and I'm getting a couple of laps in. Okay, I'm getting 5 minutes in, and I'm rooted. Okay, I'm not able to ride properly. My technique goes out the window. I'm sitting down more, not getting in the positions I need to, all of that sort of stuff. And so in my mind, I was like, okay, I need to build my endurance and build my stamina up. So my mindset going into racing or going into training was, okay, I need to start doing some endurance training. I need to get my body comfortable doing long distance cycles. I would go and do hours of swimming every week, okay, hours of RPM or spin class sessions every week, trying to build up my endurance. And the funny thing is, as much as I did all of that stuff, then I was still stuck in the same spot when it would come to race day on the weekend. So my swimming would improve. I would get better at cycling or get better in the RPM, the spin class sessions, and that would all improve. But I wouldn't see the improvement on the bike. And so, hey Matthew, my mindset was what I needed to do was do more of this stuff, and I needed to be able to push harder to be able to see some progress on the bike. And so that was my whole thing, was just trying to do more volume, more cycling, more endurance, more long distance cardio stuff to try and build this endurance up. But it just never worked. I'm doing like an hour of cycling 3 or 4 times a week, or an hour and a half of swimming every week, and still can't do a 15-minute moto on the weekend. And it took me a long, long time to be able to figure this out. Is that endurance can be built in two forms and comes in multiple forms. So I was focusing on respiratory endurance, okay, breathing endurance, which wasn't really the problem. I wasn't getting out of breath, just my body was fatiguing. So the problem I had was with my strength endurance, okay? I wasn't able to be able to recover quickly from tough sections of the track. And so I'd get to a really tough section of the track, and that would suck all the energy out of me, and then I'd be cooked for the rest of the race. And that's why I'd start to die out so quickly. So if I had to go back and coach myself on what I needed to do, is I needed to focus on getting stronger. Okay, building strength was the single biggest thing that I missed out on that I should have been doing. Now, if you look at your bike might weigh about 100 kilos. Okay, if you're racing a 250F or more, it's about 100 kilos. If you're riding an enduro bike, like we're talking about for this video, 4-hour enduros, maybe 110 plus. Okay, if you got your camelback on, you got your gear on, you got all that sort of stuff. Plus, you've got your body weight on top of that. So you've got a 100 kilo bike plus your body weight on top. So if you're weighing 80 kilos at the moment, that's 180 kilos there that you need to be able to wrestle around for a 4-hour enduro. That's a lot of weight, okay? Now, for me, I didn't have a high enough level of strength. I didn't even hardly focused on strength training. I was so focused on doing this long distance endurance training. So what that meant for me is my 100 kilo bike, I was racing a 250F at the time, that 100 kilo bike felt relatively heavy for me in comparison to what it should have felt like. So the way that you improve your endurance and your strength endurance is not by doing lots of endurance work. It's by increasing your overall level of strength. Now, I learned this through when I started doing CrossFit. When I finished up racing, I started doing CrossFit and started doing fitness competitions. And so one of the things that I noticed is that they use a lot of heavy weights in CrossFit, but they also do a lot of workouts with like higher rep, lighter weight stuff. And so one of the things that I learned early on from doing that is having a high level of strength helps a person to be very well rounded at a lot of things. So imagine if you can double the amount of strength that you have, you can get your deadlift from 100 kilos to 200 kilos. Doing a 50 kilo deadlift feels a lot easier when you can deadlift 200 in comparison to deadlifting 100. Bodyweight exercises become a lot easier when I can double the amount of strength that I can move on a barbell. When I go and do gymnastics movements, they get a lot better as well when I'm a lot stronger. It's a lot easier to be able to move my own body weight. And because it's a lot easier to be able to move my own body weight, I don't use as much energy, I don't fatigue as much, and I can get a lot more reps out. So the same principle applies for riding. You've got this 100 kilo bike. Now, there's only so much you can do to make that 100 kilo bike lighter. Okay, you can put less fuel in it, put a smaller tank on it, or standard size tank instead of an oversized tank. Like there's all little things you can do, but that, to a degree, there's only so far you can go. Same with your body weight. You can only drop a certain amount of body weight before it becomes like you can't lose any more weight. You're at your prime. So you need to look at the other side of the equation and go, okay, I can't make my body weight lighter and I can't make the bike lighter, but what I can do is I can make myself a lot stronger. And when you make yourself a lot stronger, that makes the bike feel lighter. Okay, so if you, let's say you have the amount of strength that you have at the moment, over the next 16 weeks, if you double or triple the amount of strength that you have, that your body is capable of, imagine what that 100 kilo bike is going to feel like in 16 weeks time compared to how it's feeling at the moment. So obviously it's going to be feeling a lot, the bike is going to feel a lot lighter. Okay, the 100 kilo bike is going to feel a shit ton lighter. When we can get the bike to feel a lot lighter, what that means is you're going to use less energy, okay? You're going to use less energy on the bike, but you're also going to fatigue a lot less. Because now the 100 kilo bike is nowhere near as heavy as what it felt before. Before it might have been 80 or 90% of your maximum level of strength. Now it might be 50, 60 or 70% of your maximum level of strength, which means you can ride the bike harder for a longer period of time without having to do a whole heap of endurance work. Now, that takes a completely different mindset and a completely different focus to how you tackle your training. So instead of having a focus of doing hours and hours of cardio like I was doing and doing long distance stuff, we need to reverse the mindset and go, okay, what are the things I need to do to maximize my strength and get me as strong as I can possibly be? And that takes a different outlook or a different way of looking at your training. So to summarize what we've gone through today, is to build endurance for a 4-hour enduro. If you're stuck at the 2-hour mark, chances are it's probably not your breathing that's really the problem. It's probably overall fatigue, okay? And to get rid of that overall fatigue or to reduce it right down, you need to get yourself a lot stronger. If you can get yourself a lot stronger, the bike feels a lot lighter, you use a lot less energy and you fatigue a lot less in those first couple of hours, which means you've got a shit ton more energy that you can use for the following 2 hours, okay? So if you are stuck at that halfway mark in an enduro, don't think that you need to be just doing more endurance work, okay, and more cardio and longer distance stuff. That's not always the case. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be that you need to get stronger, and that's going to be the way for you to be able to move forward with your riding and be more consistent. So if you are an enduro racer and you are wanting to double the amount of racing fitness that you have, and you only go riding once a week, and you can only commit 3 training sessions each week, then you will fit perfectly into the next intake of riders that I'll be working with. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can click the link below, which I've just put in the comments, and fill out a little bit about what you're working towards, what your challenges are with training, and then I'll reach out to you and give you a quick buzz and see if the program's the right fit or not. So this is for enduro riders. Okay, this is guys that do race events that would like to double the amount of race fitness that you currently have. You're only getting on the bike once a week, so you're not a factory rider or a professional rider riding all the time. You're only able to get on the bike at least once a week, and you've only got about 3 sessions a week that you're able to commit to training. Okay, so again, you're not a professional rider. You're not training all day, every day. You don't have time to do that. You need to make sure that you're getting the most out of the small amount of time that you do have. If that's you, then click the link below, apply, and then we'll have a quick chat and we'll go from there. Otherwise, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and I will chat to you soon. See ya.